I did like an animation about Nosferatu, but I named it Nosfutatu because, well, I guess that's another thing I guess I should say is that I'm into the Futa and the film police.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a lot. Yeah. So that's my thing. That's my meat and potatoes. Especially the meat.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone. It's Daxki once again. Another episode of Project Vibes. And today's guest is Dirac. Please introduce yourself, D.
Ah, yes. First things first. Hello. Nice to be on your show. I'm very honored. I am an artist and animator, 3D, mainly not safe for work, and I've been doing what I do for about 8 years.
Yeah, that's pretty solid there. What's up with the new look?
Oh yes, well certainly since the last time we talked, there have been some developments, to say the least.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. You really managed to get it working, huh? I bet it's very difficult.
Oh yes, you wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to learn 3D. I guess, since this is an interview type of show / podcast, I guess I might as well start with the beginning, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, beginning. Yeah, I became D-Rock in I think 2014. I'd come off from a failed run as an indie filmmaker, actually. That's kind of like my background for everything. I used to be a filmmaker. Now, nothing what I did at the old days really survived, but, at the end of the day, I always wanted to be like a filmmaker. I always wanted to make narrative, visual storytelling. And, yeah, I was getting frustrated with that, so I went to college. I went to film school for that. In late 2009 to 2011, I didn't really last very long in college. I wasn't happy, and I wasn't getting where I wanted to, not to mention it was very expensive. So, I dropped out of college, and I decided to just try and make some movies. And yeah, I liked filmmaking, but it was very frustrating dealing with the limitations of live action filmmaking. Because as you know, you're only limited to who you can grab, especially when you have no money. You have to deal with what assets you have available to you. So you have to pick from a very small pool of actors and technicians in your area. And, that's one sacrifice, but then the other thing is, what you can actually do. If you don't have access to, a big studio or anything, yeah, you're kind of just stuck with shooting a 90-minute movie of, some character talking on the phone in the closet. And I wasn't into that. So yeah, I started to go into animation around 2012. I think around 2012, yeah. And I was, figuring out what I really wanted to do. And, let's see, around that time, I was more into the 2D kind of scene. I've been animating in Flash, for example, since 2004, back when I was a child. But yeah, I kind of, fell out of it because I was too stubborn to learn how to draw. In fact, I guess, because I was too stubborn to learn how to draw, I kind of looked at live action filmmaking, being like, okay, well, I don't have to worry about my artistic skills there. You shoot it. You shoot the video and that's it. But that, as I have just explained, have all of those problems. So then I went back to animation and I finally put in the time and effort to learn how to draw competently, like as best as I could. And then, you actually were one of the first influences of mine, like first big influences. Cause like, I was trying to find my voice and like what I wanted to do. I guess what I wanted to be known for. And you were one of the first ones.
Thank you.
Big inspirations. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think, I guess I'll get to it later where I reached out to you and I asked for some critique and I was very nervous because I thought, well, you're so talented and, I assume successful. So like, why would you give someone like me the time of day? So like, yeah, that was so long ago, but yeah, you and definitely the Great Zone is still to this day like one of my biggest influences ever.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll be talking a little more about Zone later as we get into the 3D era. But yeah, so around 2014 I started doing the not safe for work stuff. I think so. Yeah, 2014. And then like 2015, like I started doing like Rule 34 specifically. I guess I was still kind of in a like learning stage as to developing my style and my skills. And then yeah, like I slowly started to get into animation, like as I became more comfortable with my drawing skills. And I'd say the first major animation I made was in 2018, which was, the Ring parody. Maybe you remember that.
Yeah.
Favorited that one actually.
Yeah, I saw that one. It was pretty good actually. I even commented there. If I can remember.
Oh yes, yeah. I was really humbled that you took the time to watch it and you even liked it, like enough to favorite it. 2018 really was like the year for me that I like stepped into the professional realm, and it's because I guess to take it back to like 2017 for a moment. Around that time is actually when I started that animation. At the time, I was thinking, well, making short little loops and everything is cool and all, but I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be known for something a little more. And I thought, well, what's something that not very many people do, especially in the not safe for work circle? And at the time, I saw, well, let's see, like 2017, 2016, I think is when Zone made that Ghostbusters parody.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to watch Zone stream on Picarto, work on it almost every day. And like that's another thing too. Like I remember those days. They're very like nostalgic for me. I remember the days where I would come home from my job at the time and I would watch some stream and work and get a lot done and have a big audience of people who love them and, have fun. And I looked at that and went, yeah, I want that for myself. That would be the ideal. And so, yeah, around that time, let's see, Extreme Ghostbusters actually came out, that parody came out in 2016. But still, around that time, I was kind of formulating, like, what I wanted to do, like, the big project for me. So around that time, and then another artist that I really admire is, goes by the name of Dirt Pixon. I don't know if I pronounced it.
Yeah.
Yes, another one very influential, very hardworking, very, top-notch quality as well. And Derpixon is really improved as well. And I think like we started it around the same time, like on Newgrounds, and I remember them. I think I even I think I became friends with them like before they really blew up. So yeah, but I remember being inspired by Derpixon as well as an animator, and they had made their big project at the time, which was Vandal Tales. It's like that. I think it was originally supposed to be a parody of D&D, I think, but I changed it to be like original. So yeah. So between Zone's big project and Derpixon's big project, I thought to myself, well, yeah, those are like more than just like a loop and more than just a minute or too long. I thought I need to make something like considerably long and possibly also have a little star power in there. That's why I hired the voice actors that I did at the time as well. Because Uday Tiger, she was in both of those projects that I mentioned. So I started on my Ring parody in 2017, and it took me like a whole year to make it before I released it on Newgrounds. And the thing about it is that I never thought I would do it because, like the subject matter that is, because I was never a fan of the Ring before the parody. I was just kind of thinking, well, I love horror and monsters, if you couldn't already tell. But, like, yeah, I was just kind of thinking, what would be pretty cool. And I was open at the time. I was open-minded about trying new things. And so I did a little bit of deep diving into the Ring franchise. And yeah, I just really got inspired by it, by watching some of the movies. And then that's what prompted me, okay, no one, on top of not a lot of people doing projects that are longer than like a minute or two at the time, certainly no one had made anything that long about this character, Sadako. So that's where I embarked. And it took me a year to do it. I pretty much learned everything. I learned the process that I would continue to use for the next couple of years by doing that animation. So yeah, I rotoscoped. See, I guess this can kind of tie into the 3D stuff that I am doing now. I always did animate in 3D. See, as I was learning to be a better artist, I kind of ran into the same problem where I didn't like my limitations and I was kind of frustrated with not getting the progress that I felt I should have. So, like, it's kind of hard to explain really, but I would use 3D as like a guide to do 2D stuff. And then when I found out, oh wait, old Disney used to do that too. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a lot of work. So I figured, well, I don't care. I'm used to doing a lot of work, even if it is like really inefficient. So I did it anyways. So for the Ring parody, I really perfected like the animating 3D, and then over that, so I would animate in 3D, and I would export those frames out and put it into Flash, and then keyframe it out as I saw fit. And then over that, I would draw what I wanted to see. See, it would have been easier, I know, but some of you may be thinking, why not just learn 3D? Well, again, like it was a strange time. And also I was just I was more inspired by 2D back then. I had more of a inclination towards 2D animation. So, yeah, I did it that way for the Ring parody. And when it came out, when it finally was all done, yeah, keep in mind, this was back when Tumblr was still like relevant and cool-ish. So when I made that post on Tumblr about it, yeah, I got a lot of attention and I was pleasantly surprised. certainly thanks to the voice actress too. She really helped bump that one. But yeah, I never at the time I had never received that much um, attention, positive attention, for anything I've done, especially in such a short amount of time. So yeah, at that point, I really felt like, okay, now I'm a professional. And so from that point on, I did things the rotoscope way. From 2018 to about 2021, um, like I used to do like annual Halloween animations as well. That whole thing kind of started in 2019. I did like an animation about Nosferatu, but I named it Nosferatu because, well, I guess that's another thing I guess I should say is that I'm into the Futer and the femboys,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like a lot. Yeah. So that's my thing. That's my meat and potatoes, especially the meat. So, yeah, I used to do like annual Halloween animations, but after like 2 years of doing it, it became really hard to like keep up with that because 2019, like I had done a couple of projects before October, and it was really like taxing on me to do such a large amount of projects back to back. And then by the time Halloween came, I found to make that deadline it was really strenuous. I was really only able to do that again for 2020. And 2020, I did Friday the 13th parody. And yeah, same thing. The animation I made before that in 2020, it took me damn near like half a year to complete that one. And yeah, partially because of the process. Like I said, I did rotoscope animation, and it's very inefficient. And yeah, so the time and energy put in animations like that started to take a toll on me until 2021, where I started out with a project for a parody of this anime slash manga called Watamote. So I did that one. I thought it would be a simple thing, because there wasn't anything crazy going on. There wasn't any monsters or horror or anything. In fact, it's like one of the few animations that I've ever made that is like not scary or anything at all. It's comedy, really, if anything. And I thought it would just be a simple thing, but no. As is, I'm sure you can attest to this too, that something that you start and you think will be simple, it always takes like 10 times the time and effort to do something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah. I actually have to force myself when I did my best hit. The the putas for you actually took just a month because at the time I was basing my output when I was working in a studio. So the guy gave me a budget for a certain amount and I have to calculate that according to my previous job's earnings. So I had to rush it. Otherwise, I will be losing money rather than earning them because that I had to set a time limit for myself for that commission. And yeah, it was harder than I thought.
Oh wow, I never knew that. See, that's actually one of my favorite animations of yours. But yeah, I never knew that. That makes it all the more admirable.
Yeah, I literally had to sleep like 2 hours, 4 hours because if I don't if I sleep now, I don't think I can finish it by the deadline that I set for myself. Yeah, I was very punishing at, at myself back then, and yeah, over the time I had to change it because
Oh, wow.
yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
uh, what movies did you make back then? Have you actually made the your filmmaking stuff? Have you actually made something?
Oh, well, no. Like, only, like, the footage that I have, which will never be released. But, yeah, like, kind of the same thing. Like, back then, I was trying to make, like, horror movies and whatnot. And like, yeah, I had, I had big ideas, but again, I feel like there's a saying for this, where you have, like, big dreams, but little pockets or something like that. I'd probably botch that if that's some sort of like saying, but I mean, yeah, the sentiment is the same. Like, I was a big idea kind of person. And I guess I still am. I still very much am. Big dreams, but, uh, the pockets are not, um, the, the equal size. So like, yeah,
Mm. Actually, about the ring, the video that you made was actually really well made. It really shows your background as a filmmaker. It was really effective, you know. I really like that one. I I suppose that would be your best hit, and it got a lot of
yeah,
attention too.
I've heard that from so many people. And to this day, a lot of people, like, they're wondering, hey, when's that sequel coming? Is there gonna be one? And, like, yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk more about that a little later. But yeah, definitely, I hear that all the time, and it definitely got attention. Like, I guess to this day, like, the thing that I'm most known for, even though that was already, like, what, 6 years ago? Something like that?
Yep.
See, 2018, 2023, 5 years ago.
So yeah, that's the thing about making movies. I don't know if you can call it a movie. I call it just a video. Making a video is very time consuming, and it's very risky when you try to produce a video and it doesn't uh, get the amount of attention that you were looking for. And yeah, it can get you down sometimes. Like, the feeling when, man, I worked so hard on this, and it's not making the kind of uh clout that you wanted. And yeah, it's kind of sad for video creators like us.
Oh, absolutely. And I definitely have my own experience with that. Um, so like, yeah. So on one hand, while I'm flattered and grateful that that ring parody did go viral, it's kind of like since then, like nothing else I've done has ever really topped that. And it's kind of a frustration that I have, that I don't really like talk about too openly. But I mean, yeah. So like, let's see where I left off in 2021. So like, that was the last year that I did rotoscope stuff. So I did my final 2D animation, and then I just kind of like one day I was thinking to myself, I need to just like I need to do things better. I need to work smarter, not harder. And so that's when I thought, I really need to just learn 3D. My tastes have kind of been evolving towards that, anyways. Like, if you've seen some of my like stuff since the ring parody, and even the ring parody itself, you'll notice that even though it is 2D, I had like a sense, an eye for like realistic kind of um characters, and even the backgrounds. Like, you'll notice the backgrounds were actual 3D renders because that's how I animated it. I had the characters in like a 3D space, and then, you know, they weren't detailed, so I had to draw all that in. But, I mean, yeah, around that time, 2021. Oh, and actually, another thing that really, this is actually a good segue. Another big decision for me to learn 3D and start being a fully fledged 3D creator is in 2021, I started playing VR chat and, getting into VR, and like, yeah, it was really cool. And I mean, I still play VR chat. I'm still in VR chat fairly regularly. I've met a lot of cool people, which they have also, certain of my friends have influenced me towards, going the 3D route. And like, yeah, that year I pretty much said, okay, I'm gonna be done with the rotoscope shit. I'm going to learn 3D and start doing things all 3D from now on. So that was 2021. And then last year, was, more learning. And, I got to a point where I made, I'd say like 3 major animations last year. The first one was a little video of my original, my original Vtuber. So this obviously is my own creation. But before this, I had like another model that I used for a little while. See, it's like I'd taken up VTubing, actually. I guess I should say that as well in 2021. 2021 was definitely a bridge. It was definitely a significant year for me when I was leaving the old behind and going into the new. It's like a transitory year. So, yeah, in late 2021, on top of learning all the 3D stuff and being in VR chat and whatnot, I also tried my hand at being a VTuber because I saw that it looked fun. And you see this kind of brings it back to Zone for me a bit, because Zone, since I'd say around 2018 or 2019, Zone started streaming on Twitch more often than not, so started gaining a following there. So, I hadn't seen a Zone stream in years at that point. Then I decided one day, they're on Twitch. Maybe I'll watch for old time's sake. And at that point, they were already doing VR stuff and, had their robots that they are. They're a robot kind of character. I don't know if you knew, but yeah, they're a robot kind of character. And,
I actually,
that looked...
I actually haven't
Oh, go ahead.
checked Zone 10's stream for a while. I don't know. The last time I checked his stream was like 3 years ago, so I kinda lost touch with that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess that can happen. But yeah, it looked fun, and I just wanted to try it, It was, sure, why not? So I tried out VTubing, and I was like this goth girl character. Kind of the same hair that I have now, just a little different. And so, I tried that for a little while. It was fun, but, I was honest with myself, saying I need to make, my own character. I was just using, a modified existing model. So, then I came up with this, which, I guess, really quickly I can go through the origin of this. There's not a whole lot, really, thankfully. There's not really a whole lot of a backstory to this kind of character here. Oh, by the way, I have hands. So,
Good.
yeah, so, there's not a whole lot to this. Basically, it's this body type that I'm really into. I'm really into the muscles. But, yeah, I wanted to be, I thought of it as, my logo, which is literally a rock with a D on it. I thought, I want to turn that into a character. And so that's where I came up with this golem that looks very attractive, but it has glowing red eyes and hair, which, yeah, rocks can't grow hair, but I'm no ordinary rock. I'm a rock.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about your character. So, is it a futa or is it androgynous? It doesn't have a gender.
Well, um, yes, yes to everything. Although I guess, see, because I really like Futa so much, um, it doesn't, it doesn't have, it doesn't have two holes. It only has one hole. And I mean that literally because I have no mouth. My mouth isn't open. I put it that way on purpose. But yeah, it does have, uh, I do in fact have a big rock cock. I'm not gonna show it because we're on YouTube. But
That's really cool, man.
what I can do, I can kind of show what I got full body here. Check it
So,
out.
wow. So you made this by yourself or did you get help?
Well, I had a little bit of help. The body is actually, I made the body through a combination of morphs. Um, I used Dad Studio, by the way. I did back then, and I still do. I used Dad Studio for 3D stuff, and what I did is I took a base character and I just kind of shaped it into something to. I shaped it into something that fits my tastes. And then the hair was kind of something I modified, but I bought it, but I modified it as well. The rock texture I actually made all by myself. I followed tutorials, but eventually, yeah, like I did the texturing and all that myself. Oh yeah, wait. I gotta show you this.
Oh, wow. That's very nice texture there. Oh, you know what?
I have,
Uh, I really, I think I'm kind of envious of you because you are,
oh no, don't say that.
you are actually evolving, man. While I'm stuck in the Flash, and people are not interested in Flash uh, animations anymore. Yeah,
Mm,
I think you're on the right path. I think. I wish I could do that, but the problem here is, I have a family that, status quo. I
ah,
have
yes.
to sustain it. So I don't have the resources to learn something new. Like when you're a family man, family guy, you don't have the safety net for exploration. I tried it like some years ago, the Blender program. I tried it. I actually learned some basics there. I even managed to create a mesh of my OC, Halina. I managed to create a mesh of her head, and the deadline on my Patreon stuff got in the way, and it just keeps piling up. You know, I haven't really continued using Blender, playing with it. So yeah, I'm kind of envious with you because you have at least some freedom. Yeah.
I see. Well, coming from you, that means a lot. But I do understand what you mean, and it's like, yeah, it's one thing when you're like me or someone like me, when you don't have to worry about anyone else except yourself. You have the time and the the will to learn new things. But like, yeah, I don't know. I would kind of I would kind of a little disagree with you as far as just 2D animation goes. Now, Flash, I mean, we all know that Flash has been dead for a little while, but I mean, I think there's still a market for 2D animation. It's just, I think, like, the art scene in general is more oriented towards 3D these days, and it's been going that direction for a while. But yeah, I was just about to say, like, you do know that Blender can do 2D animation as well, but yeah, like you said, you still have to learn that though, and it's like, when you've worked in Flash for so long, you kind of just like stick to what you know because it's stable. But yeah, actually, I have been keeping up with some of your work. I've seen some of your Road Courier game progress, and also like you have been delving into some AI stuff up here. I've seen some of it.
Yeah. You know, I already told this story on my previous guest about how I wanted to adopt new technology because I couldn't really learn the Blender and other some new editing programs, and AI was pretty easy to use actually compared to those uh, programs we mentioned. And yeah, I don't want to get left behind with the tech. Actually, art is always evolving. You don't really know what's gonna happen to art, and yeah, people are angry about it because it's changing, and they get I think they got uh comfortable with their position in their career or in life. For them, it's like this art is my life, and if you don't do what I do, you suck, something like that. Which is, I find it funny. Yeah. So what about you? What are your thoughts with AI? Are you against it, or are you cool with it?
Well, I think I'd have to say that AI is just like a lot of any AI is like a lot of things in life. It's a tool, you know. I think it's only as good or bad as the people using it. It's just like the other day, actually, I was looking at let's see, what is that software? Used to generate like voice lines for like animation character stuff. What is that called? What is that? I'm gonna be angry that I don't remember it. So like
That's okay.
I'm going to look it up. I'm gonna look it up really quick. What is it called? Um, it is called, oh yes, 11 Labs. So like, you can create like text to speech stuff, and like, that technology has been around since forever, but it's definitely come a long ways. I guess technically it's like first AI, but it's come a long ways. It's gotten to a point where like, yeah, um, it can like, uh, competently, I'd say with an asterisk, competently generate like, human dialogue that sounds like, kind of like normal, like
Yeah,
authentic.
more organic sounding.
Yeah, and like you can train these programs to like uh sound like anyone you want. And so I was thinking, like, wow, this is such a groundbreaking thing. Like, imagine the good that can be done with it. Like, imagine, animators like you and me. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, we just need to buy this. We just need to buy 11 labs, then we won't need voice actors anymore. I can't, kind of. But, like, on the other hand, it's like, yeah, well, think about it. For as much good as that can be, someone can use this for very malevolent purposes as well. So, like, uh, I'm kind of ambiguous against AI. I'm ambiguous about AI. I'm not necessarily pro or anti AI. I at least recognize that, like, it's here to stay. It's not going back. We're not the we're not going to like get rid of it. It's here to stay, and it's just going to like evolve. The question is, are we going to evolve with it or not?
Yeah, there's a lot of fear with the new tool. It's the same thing when 3D was introduced back then, I was there. I actually saw it happen because if you watch my previous episode, I actually got laid off because of the new tech. Well, yeah. So I was doing 2D in paper animations, right? And Flash came in, and the studio decided to get more projects from Flash, and the project for paper animation was getting less. So we're not getting any jobs, so they had to lay us off. Otherwise, we want to train in Flash for like almost half a year, which at the time I couldn't really afford, and I had to make adjustment and seek help just to learn the new program, and it was worth it. But about the 11 labs, yeah, I think you still want to use the voice actresses though, because I don't think that that AI can produce the stuff that we need. Not all of it, like the moaning stuff and then the grunting. You know, I tried it once. They have the limited trial, and as I typed the words like grr, something like that, and couldn't produce it. There's still
Yeah.
some stuff that only human can do. I think if you're a producer, a content creator, you will have to use both. You can't just dump the VA. There are still a lot of things that a voice actor is still needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, don't you just love when like the AI voice stuff, like it just loses its mind and it just makes like the funniest random like bugging out kind of like sounds like
Yep.
voice wise. It's great. But to your point, I was about to actually say that as well about the art stuff. The illustration side of it. Because like programs like Stable Diffusion, AI art is a great way for people who aren't the best artists to like get their ideas out. But I mean, if you look closely enough, you can see that like it's not perfect. It still makes mistakes. And more importantly, I'm pretty sure you've seen your share of like AI generated images. Have you ever noticed that they don't really look distinct? Like they look competent, but they don't have really a style to them.
Yeah, it's kind of lifeless if there's no direction to it. You have to direct it in the right path. Otherwise, it just do what it's designed to do, random stuff. But the I've used the stable diffusion for a while now, and what I notice is it doesn't really have a mind. I don't think the artificial intelligence is appropriate, because so far as I can see, there's this thing called seeds in AI, and once you set the seed, you can actually repeat it. So what I'm guessing is it's like a algorithmic library of sort. So once you put together the models, it will have a set of images, and all you have to do is click and it will generate that particular seed. So once, for example, if you set a random seed, it will generate a image based on any seed that it creates. It's very random. But once you type in the seed number and you put the prompts, it will keep repeating it over and over. So it's not really intelligent, if I understand it right. It sets on its own ways, but there's no life to it. You have to direct it. I think it really needs an artist behind the wheel, you know? It's like doesn't know where to go, so you have to be there.
Yes, very well put. And like, kind of like how I first started my opinion of it. It's like, yeah, it's a tool. It doesn't have a mind of its own. Like only the person behind it does, and what you're going to get out of it is just dependent on, uh, you know, what the intentions are of the person behind it. So, like, yeah, AI. I I dabbled in some AI. I don't have stable diffusion, like at least not like the one that you can actually use. Like I've been on. I think they have like a free like on the website version you can use. I just played around with that. I made some silly images. I made like images of like Sylvester Stallone, and they were very cursed to say the least.
Cursed.
Yeah, I put like Sylvester Stallone in like doing a duet with King Diamond. I don't know if you know who King Diamond is. That's a whole other story. But like basically, Sylvester Stallone in like a metal band and stuff like that. Um, I've done I've done other things, other cursed images of like celebrities. Not anything bad, just like like funny. Like I did Sylvester Stallone just like singing a duet, and it's just that face he makes. It just gets me.
He's getting old, actually. He's not the same guy anymore. He's,
Yeah,
he's full of power. When you see him, it's like he's emanating with power, and it resonates to you. Like when you're watching him, today, it's like, what happened to you? Something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So,
You can say the same thing about a lot of those '80s actors as well, like Arnold.
yeah. And also Bruce Willis. I think he has a brain disease.
Oh yeah.
Lately, I've been diagnosed with anxiety disorder. So I don't know. It might lead to that eventually.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I have trouble sleeping, and I forget a lot. I usually get brain dead sometimes. And I started this uh, new project, Vibes, mainly for that, because the doctor said I need to stimulate my brain more often, because when I'm working, I don't really talk, and the my brain is very active. It has a lot of things going on. I keep thinking about life stuff and projects and finance, something like that. So I don't really talk, and the doctor said that I need to talk to people. It's like some kind of a therapy, just activate my brain again, something like that. So,
Ah, it makes sense. Well,
yeah. So
I'm I'm glad that you started that, and that I can also be a part of that too, in helping you with your mental condition.
yeah. Also, the doctors told me to get some exercise. Get those sweat out, because my body is full of cortisol. It's like it's constantly running 24/7. He told me. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
I need to get the sweat out, so the cortisol will leak out, and the levels will go down. My body is in constant stress, and it affected my nervous system, something like that. So yeah, more talking and more sweating. Perhaps, although the sweating part, I'm really failing it, because I have deadlines and I don't have time to exercise. Which yeah, I hope I can manage it. So what about you?
Yeah, me too.
I remember you have a new job now. So what do you do aside from you these VTubing and animations?
Oh, well, it's not a very glamorous job or like a very skilled one either. I simply just, I, I work pizza. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So you get free pizzas every day?
No, and life is not that simple. I mainly, at this new place, I mainly, like, work in the back. Sometimes I work in the front, but mainly I'm working in the back. I'm, like, making all the dough and whatnot, that kind of stuff. And
Oh,
it's a part-time position.
so you're what do you call that? Because I saw a video of this guy went viral. He was challenging the Domino's pizza making. I don't know if you saw that one. It's really good. Like he put a paper bag on his head and he started spinning the dough in his back like so many exhibitions. So you're doing that too, right?
Kind of. I mean, essentially, yes. We have a different process, but yes, I'm mostly in charge of making the dough and, making what they call the shells. You know, basically stretch out the dough and have it ready for them to make orders and whatnot. I started a job back in May of this year because, yeah, like, I hate to say it, but this year has not really been a good year for me financially. So I was really hurting in the beginning. And it got to a point where I was, like, really depressed and shit. And I had to actually publicly announce that I needed to take a hiatus because, like, my art felt more like creating shit was stressful because I wasn't getting where I want to, or, you know, where I feel like I should be after so many years of doing this. And then, you know, coupled with financial stress and, like burnout. And this is after I came after, I got done. So last year, the major animation I made was a parody of a video game actually called Pacify. It's an indie video game. Well, it's on Steam, but I made that parody. It took me quite a while to make. It's kind of like the Ring parody I made, except it's not her. It's a different girl. It's kind of original character, but like, yeah, I made that one. I wasn't fully satisfied with how it came out because I wanted to do so much more with it. See, I wanted to try and top what I did, especially since that's the first like major full 3D animation I made, but it didn't really get the kind of pop and recognition I thought it would. And so all this year has really been like, what do I do? Like, am I even doing the right thing? And it's like self-doubt about, you know, I know this is what I want to do, and especially after doing it for so long, but I can't deny that, like, you know, I have those feelings where, you know, 8 years into this, and like, I think about people who I look up to and think, well, shit, in less than half the time, they're already making decent money, and like, here I am, and I feel like I haven't really achieved much. So I was going through all those feelings, and admittedly, I still kind of do, but I've managed them better now. So like, in May, I took a new job to get some new money in while I recovered during my hiatus, and I've been doing that ever since. But I came out of hiatus 2 months later because, well, when you work for someone else, especially a job like that, what I've got now, it kind of makes you appreciate like having something to come home to. And boy, when I came out of hiatus, it felt like, you know, it felt like, it felt like a good nut after not doing it for a long time. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. After all, we are both anti-animators.
I actually got numb over time. I've been doing it for so long. When I started, I really get uh, stimulated with my own work, and yeah, I actually busted a lot. And then a few years later, it kind of became normal. So yeah, well, at least you're doing something now. Good that you have a job, and yeah, that's good for you, man. So
Yeah, like it's good to not be totally poor because I think, you know, I've, I'm at a point now where I've kind of abandoned that kind of like pride that comes with like being a starving artist. I've kind of like gotten over that. It's like, yeah, like life's too short to be, you know, having that kind of mentality.
and also you need to look back from where you started, the progress that you made. Most of the time, people don't appreciate themselves. They don't compare the before and after. You know, I always look back from where I started, and even though I'm not very, uh, I don't get a lot of money, the kind of success that people are looking for. Comparing myself from where I was before, it's a lot better. It's 10 times better, maybe 100. And if you look back from your past and how you are, what you are, I think it makes you happy that in your own way you made success. So yeah, that's what I do most of the time. I think more people should do it so they don't get depressed. I had my own moments as well, but yeah, when that happens, I just look back.
Yeah, I agree with that. And admittedly, I haven't really done a lot of that lately. But now that you mention it, I think I will take some time, perhaps even this weekend. I'll look back at some of like the oldest shit I've ever done, and then like just go through the years.
Yeah, you know, I really like this conversation because we actually delved in deep with the artist part. It's very hard to talk to artists because they want to keep it for themselves, and y- we're actually open now. This is good vibes.
Yeah, I really like it too. And this is the kind of stuff I wish I heard when I had started.
Oh, like how how is that? Can you elaborate?
Like like I wish I could like back when I started, I wish I could have um heard some of the people that I look up to talk about, just outside of the art itself, just the life, kind of the life of an animator, an artist. I mean, it's helpful to talk about it as not safe for work artists, but it can really apply to any kind of genre or medium. But I mean, yeah, to be honest, there is one person I wish I could pick their brain as much as I've been picking yours lately, but I don't know if I ever will.
Yeah, I think I know that artist who it is. Like even me, I like to pick his brain anytime in the future. So
Yeah, and it's like I kind of like would want to be careful because I don't want to. I'm not the kind of person. I don't like. I'm not out to like pry into people's personal lives and like want to know unnecessary things. I want to know like from artist to artist. It's like, hey, what do you go through? Like what are your dreams and aspirations and stuff like that, and expectations with success and whatnot.
yeah, the thing about artist to artist talk is they they don't. usually like talking about their art, but they actually want to talk more about their 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 processes and how their life and you know um anything outside art. Yeah, that's what I've noticed because when I was working on studio animations, my fellow artists when we're not on the job, we talk about many things, but none of it is art. So yeah, it can get really deep. Yeah, that's pretty fun actually. So, what are your plans for the future with this VTubing?
Well, streaming to me for the moment, I'm streaming on Twitch maybe like once a month, maybe even every other month, because like when I first started this, I was doing it more often, and I was so sure that I would at least get affiliate status within a couple months, but that hasn't happened, and it's like 2 years later. So that's kind of one thing that was stressing me out earlier this year. It's like, well, why is it so hard for me to like gain traction in streaming? Whereas like, just in that mindset, I was like, well, how come everyone else can get affiliate so easy, but not me? It's like, what am I doing wrong? Or am I just wrong completely? So, like, streaming to me, like, at best, even if I were, like, competently, decently successful, I really only see streaming as, like, a side thing for me. Like, I'll stream, uh, if I had it ideally, I would stream, like, once or twice a week. And that's it, really. It's more just a side thing to complement what I really do most of the time, which is animation and pictures.
I see. Well, I really hope that this project of yours go well, man. I'm rooting for you.
No, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
I'm really glad that you reached out to me to do this because, as I said, you were one of my heroes, and you still are, by the way. And
I'm
me getting
flattered.
into all this.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, actually, I'm working on a project now, on a VTuber as well. I mean, the
Uh huh.
character that I'm working is a VTuber, and it's a commissioned piece animation. It's the guy funded it for a very long time now. I think maybe a year. In case you're curious
Oh wow.
about the character, it's Project Melody. Yeah,
Oh, you're doing a commission of her. I figured it would be only a matter of time before someone asked.
yeah. It's almost done actually, and I'm on the compositing stage right now, and I will submit it to him in a few weeks, I guess. Then he will ask Melody to voice it. So yeah,
Whoa, are you serious?
yeah, that's what he told me because he's pretty close with Melody, I believe. He's like the big daddy of the science team. He's called,
Oh, really? That's
yeah, his
very curious.
his name is Nels on Twitter. Uh, gamer. I believe his username is gamer addict, something like that. I need to check. Oh no, this may take a while, but that's the guy, and he does a lot of commissions of melody. He's got like 300 commission pictures of Project Melody. So yeah, he's really cool, man.
Interesting. I wonder if he likes Melody.
I actually like her because she has a very nice personality, very uh sexual, you know. And yeah, she's really cool, and you see a lot of her a lot of animations of her and pictures on the in Twitter and in other places. She's really popular, and I'm really honored to be doing her actually. So I'm pretty excited. I hope it gets more traction. So I don't know what happens if it could be my next hit. Hopefully, the
Yeah.
yeah, the what we're talking earlier was when you created something and it gets uh, a little piece of success, it's hard to top it off, and my last best hit was Put Us For You, and I think I didn't really surpass that, so I'm hoping this new one could, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And like that's actually that's a big topic actually. It could potentially be a big topic. It's like, when someone makes something and then it goes big and then they never really capitalize on it. And it's like, it's not really that, it's not through any fault of their own. It's kind of like, well, sometimes people just make things at the right place at the right time, and it's like the right thing as well. You can't really, it seems to me like you can't really calculate that. You don't really plan for that. It just kind of happens. And I guess that can be like a blessing and a curse.
Yep, I agree. I very much agree with that. I've been grinding for so long now, since that piece came out, and I was always wishing on a star when will I get my best hit. It's like in music. Uh, there's this band called Radiohead, right? And
Oh
people,
yes, I know them.
yeah, people said they were like a one hit pony, something like that. They have this one song called Creep, and that's the only song that was good that came out from that band. And people are trashing the band because their other songs are shit. But I listen to their songs, and you know it's not really that shit. So I disagree with those people. I like the other song called Android Paranoia, something like that. I forget the title, but yeah. So what about the what about you? I think I saw the your video, like you were playing some guitar. Were you actually playing
Oh,
guitar?
I was. It's too bad my model is not that advanced. The software that I'm using is not that advanced where it can like super accurately record my hands and my playing. I'm using like a fucking. It's like it's like this bar that sits on my collarbone, and it it shoots out like laser thingies. It's like a base station. Like it's the equivalent of like what a base station would be like for like a VR headset, except it goes on your chest. It's called leap motion, and that's what's tracking my hands. But it's still kind of shitty. Like, honestly, I was kind of contemplating like getting in the VR chat and just like sharing my video through there so I can like actually be in full body and move around. But I don't think I could stand for that long and think properly. So here I am, just like this on desktop in front of the computer.
Hey, you know what? If you can actually, you know, uh, capture all the movements, you can just play guitar while in VTuber mode. That would be really cool, man. I think people will
I
dig it.
know.
Yeah. Just,
Well, I guess that's another thing too. Like I have to figure out. See, so another thing for me to figure out is like, what is my identity as a VTuber? What do I do?
yeah,
Because
you're a
I
rapper,
mean,
man.
besides, well, I mean, yeah, but I'm not even that good at guitar. Like, there's so many other people who are play better than I do. Even I, like, you know,
But they
speaking of
can do
guitar, I guess
Vtuber.
I can, well, there's already like this, and I don't remember her name right now, but there's like there's this VTuber, metalhead girl who plays guitar, and she's like actually making music. So I'm not the first when it comes to that, but
I see.
um, yeah, I guess that's another thing I could say about myself. I used to be in a band, several years back, so it wasn't a very good band. I hate, you know, just being honest. It wasn't like a very like successful band, obviously, but
Mm.
like I used to be in a band for a
What?
couple of years,
So
so I have band experience. But like that was probably the most I've been playing guitar. Otherwise, lately I just kind of pick it up when I feel like maybe to get some emotion out or just run through some songs that I like. Other than that, I don't really play guitar that often these days. Priorities and whatnot.
what kind of music were you playing when you're in that band?
In that band, I was playing metal, like old school kind of metal.
Like M- Metallica and Slayers, something like that, or more of the Pantera stuff?
A little bit of everything. It was more underground kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I wish I could play like you. I actually practiced guitar also, and my hands are not really cut out for it. I
Oh
all
yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to play lead guitar because I thought it is really cool. One of my inspirations was Slash, from Guns N' Roses, and I really like his sound. And yeah, the I guess I was more talented with the drawing, so I stick with it and I ditch the guitar. But
Yeah,
I
of course.
I can still play, but not that to that level. You are way more advanced than me.
Oh, thank you. But like, yeah, I mean, humble brag. Like
But
so you must have seen that clip. That was actually I clipped that from one of my streams where uh I just kind of randomly went on stream and I played a couple covers of songs that I like, and yeah, I just that was one of my solos, more of my competent ones for that stream, and I made that into a clip and I uploaded it to YouTube as a short.
yeah, that was really cool. I really, aside from animation, my interests are, uh, you know, ancient aliens and music and food. Yeah. So
Ah, good tastes.
yeah, on music I like a lot of stuff, like m- metal, death metal, melodic metal, some the progressive ones. There's this band called Unleash the Archers. Wow, they are so cool, man. They're so good. They have this song called The Awakening, and just by the intro, they give you this suspense, and then all of a sudden, it's a burst of uh, power of everything, the vocals and the guitars and the drums, they come together. And yeah, but lately I've been listening to a lot of old songs as well, like My Chemical Romance and yeah, Pantera, and Metallica, and Dimmu Borgir too. I even made a video of a karaoke video of one of their songs, the Gateways. It's on my
I
secret channel.
Oh, I see. I feel like there was an old video that you did, like a time lapse where you had one of those songs or something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Um, yeah, I think that one called the that that one was with Obama. Yeah, Master of Puppets. But the problem with that video is it got blocked to some countries because of copyright issues. So
Yes, of course.
I took it down. Yeah. Anyway, we actually arrive in an hour, man. So are you okay if we keep going, or
We've only been going for an hour.
I think so. We've been an hour, or I mean, if you're
It doesn't feel like an hour to me. It feels
yeah,
like we've only been going for like 15, 20 minutes.
yeah, it really goes by really fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm fine. I'm fine with keeping going.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got energy.
So what do you have you you have a girlfriend right now, or what?
I don't.
Yeah, I can relate, because artists don't really have time for that actually. Even when back then when I was in high school, there were few girls that wants to get along with me, and the artist side of me is telling me no time for that girl, no time for this shit, all the drama. Yeah, but eventually.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Oh, so are you bi or something like that? Are you bisexual?
Yeah, I think so. I guess. I mean, I like femme boys. They're they're 100% male, as far as I know. I mean, they are. So, yeah, I guess I am.
Ah, I see.
I just know what I like. I don't really go around telling people, oh yes, I'm bi or whatever.
Like,
They ask me what I like, I say, here's what I like. And then they make their own decision based on that.
yeah, that's very interesting. Since I actually had a time where I thought I was actually in love with my fellow man, and I had a classmate where he was really good looking, and then eventually the class ended and I never saw that guy. And I started drawing hentai animations and I forgot about it. I guess the drawing hentai, kept me straight. If I guess I can say that now. So yeah, that was really funny now that I think about it. But yeah, I'm not against the. I guess the internet right now is in chaos with all this gender stuff, like their pronouns and shit. I don't really understand why they're doing it, but I actually respect you that you don't do it like that. They can be annoying.
Mm. Yeah, well, and see, that's kind of why in my server, I pretty much say, yeah, we're keeping politics and religion and all sorts of other, like, topics that will get people riled up. I keep that out of my server, and I also just kind of, like, don't talk about it, like, amongst, like, so I certainly don't stream it. I'm not here to, be an activist of any kind.
Yeah, you're just
So
doing your
yeah,
own
I know
thing.
those things.
So
Pretty much just doing my own thing, and that's why, like, yeah, sometimes, especially in VR chat, I'll have a lot of people come up to me and they'll ask, like, "Are you a guy or are you a girl?" And I say, "What do you think?"
that's pretty clever. Uh,
I pretty much just like to keep it as anonymous as possible, and it's like,
you keep
yeah, I don't.
you keep them guessing, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't No, it's more of a personal preference, and it's funny because no, I don't enforce my pronouns. It's just you can call me by whatever you want. But I guess if we're being canon here, see this model of mine is kind of like ambiguous, although admittedly it looks more feminine, obviously. But you know what? If anyone asks for my pronouns, it's more like, okay, well my pronouns are like it.
It. So you actually dive deep in this pronouns thing, what it's all about. So you actually did some digging.
Well, I mean, just for a character, like it's literally a rock. You know, it's a golem, so it's like it's not alive.
Oh yeah, I get it now. So your character's pronoun is it. Ah yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, so like that's the character, and then me, it's like I don't care. It's like call me he, call me she, call me it.
Yeah. You know, I, I, I actually thought you were straight, but I accept you and I respect the way you are, and more power to you. So, do you have any projects that you're working on right now, or just
Actually, yes. So a little while ago, I announced I was working on a new major animation. It's I'm not sure if I guess I have to go back through my Twitter posts to see if I announced the title of it, but it's going to be like a mummy animation, not safe for work, of course.
Yeah, so I noticed about you. You really like the horror stuff. So, how did it started?
Oh boy, how did it start? Well, since I can remember, I've always been into monsters. I think one of my first interests as a child was probably dinosaurs, and then most notably Godzilla. I'm a big Godzilla fan, always have been and always will be.
Nice. So, what can you tell me about the dark sides? Are you into
About the dark sides?
Yeah, about your character, man. I'm talking to you about your character's background. We're in this now.
Alright. Okay. Oh, wait, I don't think I actually, yeah, I think we keep getting like sidetracked a little bit. I don't think I said like, what's the origin of this? And I was like, oh, it's not really that complicated. I mean, unless we did. And in which case, yeah, they can just rewind. But I'll say it again anyways if I did. But I guess the lore, if you want to call it that, is that I am the artist, I'm D-Rock, and I made this body so I can, be a monster girl. Or, monster food, monster interchangeable. So, yeah, that's really all it is. It's like, I took my logo and I made it into a humanoid shape. And then, the hair is what's my hair? It's actually my hair because I actually have long hair.
Nice. So
That's the lore.
yeah, does your character have an arch enemy or some sort, or
An arch enemy?
yeah?
Not yet, I suppose.
So you haven't found your arch enemy yet?
No, I guess I have to wait for them to show up.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts if somehow you got big and you end up talking to those artists that you're looking up to, like Zone and other VTubers? How do you think
What
it
would
would
I?
go?
Oh, how I think it would go? Well, I'm kind of, I guess I'm kind of close to like, Zone because I've met them already 3 times in VR chat. Um, I gotta tell you, like, about those. So the first time I ever met Zone in VR chat, it was through a friend of mine. It just so happens that he was playing VR chat back in 2017. That was back when the game was new, and like you'd have the user base was much smaller than it is now. So like a lot of people just went to like public instances, and so it just so happened that my friend made friends with Zone. So when I met my friend and I told him about my influence, he was like, "Oh, you mean Zone? I've met them before. I took a picture." Then he showed me, and I kind of lost my shit.
Wow.
And like at that moment, I kind of knew that it was possible to like have that meetup. So it finally happened. And let's see, it was I think last year when I met Zone in VR chat for the first time. Yes. And I'll never forget, it was Easter weekend that I met Zone VR chat. It was live on their stream too. So like, I was very, very nervous. Very nervous. It was unexpected too, because like, yeah, like it came out of nowhere. So my friend was playing VR chat that one day, and he just so happened to stumble into, Zone's, friend group, while they were streaming and everything. And then my friend remembered me, and then he asked Zone if, they could meet me just for like a minute or two. And Zone said, yeah, sure. So then he calls me. He calls me through Discord. And he's like, D-Rock, get in VR chat, Zone is here. And then, like, I felt my heart skip a beat. And I said, okay, I'm going. And then I did. And then, yeah, he took me to meet Zone. And it was 1-on-1, actually. I was humbled because Zone took time, just like 5 minutes or so away from their big friend group to come and meet little old me. And we talked for a little bit, about, just like very basic kind of, VR chat kind of related things. And yeah, like, unfortunately I wasn't this model. I wanted to be this, but I was kind of afraid of like maybe scaring Zone away or weirding them out. So I switched to something else. I switched actually to my old model, the one I had before this. But like, yeah, there's one surviving clip of that, stream. I saved it, but of course I also took pictures. Well, but I'll never forget that day. It really, like, that was my first, that was my first step towards like, like getting to know someone a little more. And it definitely made my weekend a hell of a lot better, because before that I was kind of depressed. I was not having a good week that week. So that really made my weekend a lot better. And then the second time I met Zone was a couple months after that. Another friend of mine, they went to an instance. We were instance hopping. Of course, I might just be talking about, like, I assume you've never played VR chat ever, so you don't, like, know what the fuck, like, an instance is or anything like that. So I apologize.
Yeah, I think I have an idea, but yeah, sure.
Like, I guess an instance
It's
is
like a
equivalent to,
room,
like,
right?
a lobby.
Yeah, some kind of
Yeah, or a
room.
room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best way to explain it. So, like, yeah, the second time I met Zone in VR chat, or encountered them, is more of a accurate word to use in this case, is that, another friend of mine, we were, room hopping. We were world hopping. And it just so happens that they were friends with a friend of Zone. And so I was there, and then they were waiting for Zone to get back from something. And they finally did get back. Yeah, I just kind of tagged along with them. Now, admittedly, the second time wasn't as good as the first because it wasn't like, yeah, there were like literally, I kid you not, there's like 20 or 30 other people around zones. So I couldn't really like, you know, I couldn't even really say hi or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it wasn't, I have some regrets about that day. I could have been better too. Like I wasn't very like, uh, I wasn't very like open to like just being there for the sake of being there and like wanting to be friends with other people, not just, for the attention of one person. So I kind of admit that's like a problem on my end. And that brings me to the third time I met Zone, which was actually last week.
Oh,
Last week.
nice.
Yeah, Zone did a subathon recently on Twitch. And, I was a Twitch subscriber. And so one of the perks was that they did a VR chat meetup after the stream. And so I went. And what made this time so much better than last is that I was there just to be there and like mingle. Like meeting Zone and all that was a bonus. I was there just to like mingle with people, not just one person. And, yeah, that was really good. And Zone like came up to me personally and like, yeah, I was also like flattered too. I said, "Oh, you remember me after all." It's like,
Wow.
yeah, it felt really good.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like I made friends with other people too. So that was a really good night. It was really fun. So yeah, that made up for the second time. It's also like a kind of a character arc for me as well, like a personal development kind of thing. So, but yeah, like to answer your original question, it's like yeah, I would love to kind of like pick Zone's brain the way that I've been picking your brain, even just right now, but I'm afraid to because, they're pretty famous and whatnot and busy, like really busy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good that you actually get to interact with him, you know. It's also nice that he's not a snob. He doesn't snub people, and he's really a nice person. And yeah, he acknowledges your existence. So yeah, that must have been felt so really good, man. Finally I get to talk to my
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's like, oh god, since I noticed me. Ugh. But wait, hold on. I haven't really shown you everything his avatar can do. We'll see what you think about this. Let me see. Oops, that's the wrong one.
Oh,
Yeah, the golem has titties.
so it actually shape
Oh,
it.
not that one.
Yeah, it
There it
was.
is.
Oh, nice. That's a schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah, so, like, Senpai noticed me. Okay, I'll take it off now.
I think the audience would like to know more about the VTuber, how you do it. What where do we start with VTubing? Something similar to yours?
Something similar to mine. Well, that's the thing. Like, I see like 90% of YouTubers out there are like anime characters. I like, unless someone can direct me, I have not seen hardly any, like, just, you know, I guess Western kind of character is like a good way to put it. Just something that's not anime, whether 2D or 3D.
Nice. So, where do you have any resources for your VTubing? What programs are you using? Where do you get the models and stuff? How do you rig them?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of everything. Um, so the program I'm using for this is called VC it's free and it's based on Unity. It's a Unity thing. Um, it's pretty popular for like uh, streamers who want to like take their VR chat avatars and turn them into VTuber models. Like yeah, they would go through that process in Unity, and then they bring it into this program, VC and with it you can like you know any other VTuber would actually have like lip syncing and eye blinking and whatnot, but I'm a different case.
Since
The
your
model itself, as I mentioned earlier, I created in Dad's studio, and then I did a little bit of tweaking in Blender, and then ultimately it goes once again into Unity through that whole process. And let's see, uh, yeah, it's. I hear that 2D like 2D VTubers are a little more they're like they're easier to do than 3D. Not to mention like PC power. I think it makes sense that it would take a little more power and resources to be a 3D VTuber than a 2D one.
I see. So it's more complicated with 3D compared to 2D then.
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. So it must have been taking a lot uh, of you must have a high end computer too, right?
Oh, it is due for an upgrade, but I mean, I have a competent one. I built it actually back in 2020. So, um, the, the graphics card I'm using is, uh, NVIDIA GeForce 1660. So, it's a competent graphics card, but I do plan to upgrade as soon as possible.
Mm, I see. So yeah, that is very interesting. Even me, I actually want to be to use an avatar when I'm interviewing people. At least that was my initial plan. But then, you know, time constraints, and I will have to also invest my my time learning it, and also the equipment. And so I didn't bother it anymore. So I just went with this. Yeah, no face, just audio. I mean, I believe this kind of shows are nobody's actually watching the video, but they put it as a background while they are working. They just listen to the audio. At least for most people, that's what I think. So yeah, if
And maybe this one would be like the exception.
yeah, this one would be an exception because you actually have a stream. So this is really cool. And yeah, the other guest that was supposed to come also planned to use a VTuber avatar, and yeah, she got sick, and you know,
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. So this is. I'm looking at your character, and it, do you change this model when you're in Twitch, or like does it transform or something?
Transform? Well, it does, hang on. What I accidentally did earlier, I got this.
Okay.
I apologize in advance if this video gets you, like, in trouble or something, but there you go.
I see. So it actually grows. Ah, that's very cool, man. Wow.
Yeah. In VR chat, it can go even bigger than that. But yeah, that has all sorts of other features as well. Features that if I showed them, maybe it's a good thing I did, do the stream this way, because, in VR chat, it can go so much further, and yeah, I don't want accidents like that happening on YouTube.
Yeah. So in VR chat, you can do pretty much anything, right? Is that correct?
In VR chat, I can do a lot more. I mean, besides being in full body, so I'd actually like be moving around. In VR chat, I have other features like I can shoot rocks out of my hands, and I can
Oh,
shoot lasers out of my eyes.
wow. So I'm just okay, okay. So here we go with the juicy questions. Because in VR chat, do you get a private sessions, something like that? Does people actually ask you to uh have a private room with them? Does 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 that happen?
You're talking about the ERP.
Yeah, the exclusive stuff. Do you have anything like that?
Well, oh, do we have anything like that? I mean, that's kind of what VR chat is for some people. It's just a fuck.
Oh, really? I
Yes, really.
so the how do you do this? Do you charge them for it, or it's just for fun?
Oh, I don't think I'd have I don't think I'd have the hearts to charge for it, really.
Ah,
It's just, sometimes, well, I can tell you just from personal experience. To me, at least, I'm not really in VR chat for that sort of thing too much, but the times it has happened, it just kind of happens. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'll have,
like
like,
some.
people that I get to know, first of all, like, I don't just do it with anyone, I do it with, I've done it with people that I at least know, and, are not total strangers. So, like, yeah,
Very
it's like a
spontaneous.
dance.
Yeah,
It's like a
spontaneous.
dance, you don't really, like, if you put too much thought into it, it becomes, like, too complicated than it really is. It's just kind of something that you go into, and then before you know it, there you are.
Ah, so yeah, I guess you're making good audiences there as well.
Well, it's interesting, like, when I go in VR chat, um, I get all sorts of interesting, reactions from people. Like, I can tell you there's people who don't know what I am, so, like, literally, like, my texture and everything. I've been confused from everything to, like, a bowl of cereal. Like, I'm literally, like, human cereal. I've been confused for, like, toilet paper. I've been confused for paper mache. I've been confused for, like, mashed potatoes.
What?
I've been confused for, yeah, I know. Honestly. I don't know what kind of mashed potatoes they were eating. I've been confused for, just literal, like, shit. Like, a walking shit. I've been confused for, let's see, moldy bread. Been confused for, let's see what else. Sand. Sand or mud I've been confused for, but that's at least kind of close.
Yeah, because it's earthy, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll accept that, but usually my rule of thumb is that if you're not even close, then there's probably no hope for you that we're gonna get along. So that's like my litmus test for like figuring out if I'm gonna be friends with someone or not.
Yeah. I guess some of those descriptions are kind of uh, demeaning, you know. They're trying to insult you also.
Oh yeah, like people in VR chat can be kind of wicked, but yeah, the thing is, I have a thick skin, and I mean literally, I have a thick skin. It's chiseled out of stone.
Yeah, because you're literally a rock, you know.
Exactly. And D-Rock.
Yeah.
But like, so when you get past that, there's just also the people who like, see, maybe some other time we can like, I'll stream VR chat or something so I can show you, but like, I'm very expressive in VR, and it's like a different kind of expressive, because, you know, think about it for a minute. What's the first thing you want to do when you're in VR? You want to move around, right? You want to be like as animated as possible. But I'm the opposite. Um, I'm very slow moving, and think of like, and I guess we can get into other influences of mine besides like the artistic ones, like characters and some people that influence me like as a personality. Um, I kind of move around and stuff uh, like Jason Voorhees, perhaps, or Michael Myers. Like I have very, very slow movements to me, and like these are things I've developed over about just about a lifetime of being into monsters and whatnot. I've kind of become one in a way. So like I know how to move, I know how to talk, I know how to do just about everything to be like a horror villain. Although I don't think of myself as a villain, I hope that's not a narcissistic thing to say, but like I'm not good or bad. Like I'm just doing my own thing.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. So, uh, what are your plans with? Uh, no. So your model, are you still tweaking it until now, or it is what it is? Do we expect some changes with your character as well, or that will be it?
Actually, I do have a new version. I have a new version of this character coming up. I'm taking my time with it because I have other people helping me this time. So, one of the biggest changes is going to be that I'm going to have new hair. Like, it's going to be completely custom for the character. And it's going to look a little different too. Like, the body will be slightly different. The face will be slightly different. And the hair is going to be the significant change. It's going to be completely custom modeled and rigged. So I'm going to have better hair, and I'm also going to have so this outfit, this one, I'm thinking about having this one custom made from scratch as well. Because this is like I bought this outfit, but like I kind of want to make it. I want to make like my own version of that too, just so it's like so it feels more unique. So I'm thinking about. Oops. I'm thinking about um, having that made from scratch as well. So yeah, I do have a new version of this coming out, but I'm taking my time with it. But when it does come out, it's going to be pretty cool, I think. But there's still some life left in this one. There's still some mileage.
I see. Well, I've been looking forward to it. You know, I I like to see your progress. You've come a long way, as far as I know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm I'm very humble, and you know, like what you were saying earlier is like, yeah, um, I and other people who may be listening who kind of go through the same things about feeling like you're not where you feel you should be, and like you kind of have a problem comparing yourself to others. It's like, yeah, um, you really have to. The only fair comparison you can compare yourself to is your previous version of yourself. And when you look back at your progress, that's when you can really like uh, know if you're going in the right direction or not.
Yeah, you also should think, what if you didn't go this route? What would you be? Like, for me, example, if I didn't did do these not safe for work animations, what would I be? Like, am I gonna be better or worse? Or, might have been drowned in addiction as well, like drugs. I could have been doing drugs and OD'd myself and end up in a cemetery, you know. So you you just need to keep moving forward and don't let the challenges uh, put you down. You gotta fight.
Yeah, and I would add also that what you want to do is, you know, uh, within reason, of course, is to try to always learn new things, as much as possible, because you never know. Like, if there's one thing that's constant in life, is that nothing is constant.
Oh yeah, that I pretty much agree. I mean, I've been constantly adapting to many things. You know, it used to be that I only think of myself and not I don't care about other people. And you know, when I met my partner, she changed all of that. Although there's a lot of friction, but we somehow managed to make it work. And yeah, aside from the artistic, my the personality would constantly change as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, if I had just kept going the rotoscope route, who knows? Like, um, I would just be, you know, I probably wouldn't even be here right now, or even be able to tell you, like, that I ever, had such a fun time in VR and whatnot, or even got into VR in the first place. I think I could tell you with some pretty, good certainty that if I had kept going with the rotoscope things, I'd be a lot worse off right now.
Yeah, that's why I envy you, because you don't have that that anchor, right? That's what you call it. Something anchoring you and gets you stuck, and you're actually very free to move around. You have a lot of space. So yeah, that pretty much I envy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ah, well, I don't, I hope I never do come off as like, you know, like, like the fact that I can do all these things and you're envious of that I like,
Oh, no, no, no.
you
That's
know,
that's fine.
get
That's
an
fine.
ego boost.
Yeah, I'm. Perhaps you can say that I want to to power you up. Boost you. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I
Well,
would love that. And I mean, you know, like again, like, you know, going back to music a little bit, just like this is relevant to like what's going on right now. Um, like the way I feel about you is kind of the same way that I remember Metallica. They many years ago they did a show and they brought out King Diamond and Merciful Fate, and those guys, though they're not as well known by any stretch, nonetheless they came before Metallica and they're good friends, and you know they don't think of each other as like lesser or greater or anything. They're all mutual artists and they all have respect for each other, no matter the difference in success. So, like, that's what I think of you. It's like, sure, maybe like, you have your, I mean, you have your financial independence as far as, you don't live with your parents or anything, unfortunately, like I do. But like, when you say that you envy me for like being able to like experiment and try these things, well, it's like, you know, though I'm humble, it doesn't take away from the fact that, if it weren't for you doing what you do and being who you are, like, I would never even like be here right now.
yeah, I'm glad to inspire someone. I don't really have that kind of people that much. Although there's one guy also, he called himself Senior Cansado now. I actually uh I actually taught him everything, like from the beginning, how he actually learned the basics, the controls of the program, and then I started teaching him the the principles of animation and what to do, what not to do, and some technical stuff. And then I also shared my FLA files to him so he can study it. And now he's making a lot of animations, also futa. He's really into futa, big ones. Like,
Yes, I do. I've seen some of his work. In fact, I think we talked at some point. You might be following me on Twitter. I'd have to check though.
I see. Yeah, at least I guess that you and him are the the people that I know that I actually inspired. And yeah, I'm very, how do you call this? I'm very happy about it. You know, I actually didn't really intend to be that big of an influence. I just wanted to do what I love to do. Drawing hentai stuff. I like to fantasize. Yeah, I have a lot of fantasies. Although lately I've been kind of lacking there. I guess that also has something to do with my condition because I'm no longer fantasizing about everything, about many things. Like it used to be that when, you know, I guess I was more imaginative back then compared to now, and perhaps my brain has deteriorated. And yeah, I'm glad that I inspired you, man.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're still around. I'm glad that you're still here doing things, and not like faded into obscurity. And I look forward to like looking at your stuff too. Like, you yourself, um, yeah, sure, maybe you don't really have the time or anything to learn as much new stuff as you want, but the fact that you're even dabbling with AI is like, that's already like, that's something significant. I think that's something that you should really pat yourself on the back on some more.
Yeah, the AI thing, it it's really interesting, because uh, it used to be that where when artists uses uh their palette, they have a lot of colors there, and they mix it up and they brush it on their canvas. I think that's the process back then. And today we in AI tools we have this thing called models. I think the paint is the equivalent of models right now. So let's say you have a Proton. If you go to Cbit AI, there's a lot of models there, and you can pick anything you choose. So each models represents a paint, but that paint doesn't have a specific color. It has multiple colors, like a rainbow. And then when you put it on the program, the generator, it arranges that color. So yeah, it's very interesting. So those colors vary depending on your prompt and the strength of your settings. Yeah, it's it's more it's actually work, my first hand experience with AI. Uh, People said uh, about about AI tool users that we are not artists, and you know a lot of shit that they want to bring us down. But I believe they don't really use the program. They do not understand it, and they are ignorant. That's what I can tell. Although maybe some of them actually used the 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 tool, but still, it's not as simple as typing something and then click and then you got an image. It's not that simple. You still have to study it and do a lot of experiments. I think most of your time using AI tool is doing that experiments. So, for instance, my character was Halina, and I wanted to make a model of her that I can use. It took me like 3 months to actually get the result that I wanted. The AI is very good at random stuff, but if you ask it something specific, it's really bad. You need to direct it. It's like step by step. And yeah, took me 3 months to get that model that I wanted. Although I'm still not 100% satisfied with it, I might want to train it a little more further because I was aiming for a realistic, very realistic model of her. And I'm getting there's maybe like I'm around 80% there yet. So yeah, AI is pretty fun, but I guess people are misjudging it just because of the bandwagon thing. People are jumping in. It get negative, uh, you know, negative clout. Yeah,
Yeah, I can understand. Um, it's just like a lot of things. It only takes a few bad apples, and all of a sudden something becomes kind of tainted.
yeah. It's like they're poisoning the well. What you know? What I think? If because these people think I the most people that I engage with, they think too high of themselves actually, which is kind of annoying to me. But in my mind, okay, sure, you can gatekeep it for now, but let's see 10 years, 20 years from now, when you have health conditions like poor eyesight, shaky hands, and you have developed a depression and you develop some health problems. You know, people age, and you 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 cannot stay in good condition forever, you know. And when that time comes, I wonder if they will be crawling to use AI tools. Because right now I'm at my 40s and I have some stuff going on. And I know for sure that I cannot keep doing what I do in Flash in the future. So I will have to use the AI tool. So why don't I start now? And these people, they're trashing it. They don't look at the long term. They're so full of themselves. You know, so yeah, I don't mean to trash them, but I guess they are short sighted. They don't see
And I guess
themselves long term.
not not a lot of them are artists either. Kind of like you said.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, a lot of what I engaged was actual artists, but some of their arguments are valid. I I can I can agree to it, but you know, I guess I am preparing for what comes next. That's why I dig into AI. So, you actually AI is getting more and more integrated now. Like if you see Blender actually integrated stable diffusion in their programs, in their software, and also Adobe. So pretty much all of the tools that artists are using right now will be integrated with AI more and more, and nobody can really escape it. So, yeah, it's a good thing too that, you know, Adobe actually acknowledges it, and the the noise kinda went down a little bit. So not much people are talking about the negative uh, cloud of AI. But yeah,
Yeah, pretty, uh, pretty much solid. Um, like I said earlier, it's not going to go back. It's here to stay. It's just a matter of where it goes from here. Actually, I think I watched the video you made when you were talking about it. You were talking about AI. You're talking about some topic about AI.
yeah, the you know they are shooting themselves in the foot kind of topic. Like I actually take it down because it didn't really get much traction, so I don't think it's very a productive video. So yeah, I deleted it. But
Oh, no wonder I couldn't find it again.
yeah, I actually deleted it because I actually very riled up at the time because people are angry for no reason. That's why I think it's like they didn't experience what I had experienced, like losing my actual job, and they are still having jobs, and they are whining about it like crybabies. That's what I see. Hello, hey D, are you there?
Hey, yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So anyway, it's my stomach is really uh bothering me now. I haven't had breakfast yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So where are you from, by the way?
What you mean besides from the United States?
Yeah, where are you in United States?
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but I will just say that I'm from the South.
Oh, I see. Yeah, my mom is actually in America, and my brother too. Yeah. Well, yeah, let's not how do you call it? Tell the tell public our, our locations. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm from Asia, and that it's really nice that you actually came here, even in your the time zone must be really late there. What time is there?
Well, for me, it is almost 10 o'clock. But I mean, 10 o'clock at night is nothing for me. I stay up pretty late anyways.
So do you play any games or
Well,
uh,
besides VR chat, I do play some games. Not very many though. Like, um, some select horror games I play, like I mentioned earlier, Pacify. Um, I played that Friday the 13th game that people have mixed feelings about. I have played Dead by Daylight, which unfortunately I didn't like very much. I played Giga Bash. I like that game. It's pretty fun. It's a kaiju fighting game with some Godzilla DLC. It's fun to play for like about an hour or so. Let's see. And just like some old games, like I really like the American McGee's Alice games, the first one and Madness Returns. Of course, I really like Alice because, well, she's really hot. She's a hot goth. How can you not like that?
Mm-hmm. So,
let's see. And just a couple of others, like, old school games.
What do you think of Castlevania?
I wish I'd gotten into it when I was a kid, but at least I did at all. I played the first couple of ones. Not too many of the new ones.
Let's see. Well, they got a show in Netflix, and
and I still haven't watched it.
Oh, you gotta watch it, man. It's really good. I mean, I was blown away by the animation and the story. Although it's not very accurate to the canon, the the game's storyline, but it's really inspiring to watch. And they even got some uh, Twitter animations in their lineup as well. I think I saw it somewhere where the guy is posted his key drawings for that show. It is really good, and it has good uh, reviews as well. Yeah. So I'm really hungry right now. Perhaps we can continue this and different in the future. Uh, I gotta
sure.
have some breakfast. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate your time. I hope I didn't disturb you at all. You must have been busy as well.
Oh no, not a problem at all. I'm really glad to be here too, and yeah, I'm down to talk anytime.
Yeah.
So I've seen other podcasts where, like, towards the end, they'll want to like ask the people to plug themselves. I guess if that's not a thing you do here, then that's okay.
Yeah, actually, before you go, there's the thing that I do when the show ends is the previous guest would ask a question to the next guest, and you since you're the second guest, the next guest, you will have to answer it. So his question was, if you have a superpower in for one day, what it would be and how would you use it? Did you get the question?
I did.
Okay.
I have to think on this one because it's too easy for me to just like give an answer. Oh yeah, I wish I could just shoot lasers out of my eyes, just like my model can, but in real life. And how would I use it? Oh, I don't know. Just I just want to like stare at a tree or something, and I don't like the tree. I can just like use my laser eyes and destroy it. But that's too easy. That's way too easy. Not really my style either. So let's see. Actually, I think I've got it. If I had a superpower for one day, because that's the stipulation, right? Just for one day?
Yep.
Okay. So if I had a superpower, it would be, um, it would be to, for the whole day, it would be to be present. Completely. No anxiety. No, no self-doubt. No, no worries. Just to be present. And, take on the day as it comes. And be the most productive that I can possibly be. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is the superpower would be just like, use like 100% of my brain. There's what's that movie where it's like, oh yeah, we're only using 10% of our brain. What if we use like 1,000%? What's that movie?
Yeah, I forgot about that too. I think there's 3 movies of it, and all of the titles I forgot as well. But yeah, I get what you mean.
That would basically be mine. It would be like, just, be good. Be really good.
Yeah.
Be the best possible person I could be for 24 hours. I mean, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's like the only superpower that really matters.
Wow. That's a great answer, man. Very deep and very, very conscious. Yeah, I applaud you for it. So it's your time.
I tried.
It's your time to make the question for the next guest. So what would you like to ask? Any
God, Duxky, you're really gonna make me think.
Any question, just something quirky or random, doesn't really matter because we don't know who's the next guest anyway. Even I don't know who's the next guest.
Oh, yeah, good point. Okay, well, I would ask, see, like, I gave such a thoughtful answer. I feel like I should give a thoughtful question too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But just any question, man. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Okay. Also, wait a minute, you can't tell me that. Too hard on myself? Have you noticed?
Yeah,
I'm literally a rock. Well, you know what? I think I know the question I'm going to ask. I would ask if you could go back in time, and if you could go back in time to meet your younger self, what kind of interaction would it be? Basically, like, what would you tell them? What would you have to say about their future?
Wow.
Advice, kind of, sort of thing. That's the best I can come up with right now. I think it might spark some interesting answer. Possibly.
Yeah. So, your question is, if you can go back in time and meet yourself, what would you tell him or her? Right?
Yes.
Wow. Awesome. You are such a great guest, man. And so yeah, I'm gonna put all your links on the description, and I hope you get more audiences, man. You are such a great guy. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, goodbye.
Good.
Goodbye, guests. And talk to you later, Dubsky.
Yeah. Thank you again.
Oh, wait. Before I go, I gotta do this. I gotta be proper. Check it out.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's it, guys. It's D-Rock. The links will be in the description, so check him out and have a nice day.